All right, Parshas Mikeitz, Chanukah Tafshin Pebes. We're going to start the subject of Oir and Choshech, light and obscurity. We have it, we see it outside. Sometimes it's light, and sometimes it's dark, it's night. What are the powers of light? What are the powers of obscurity? Now, in our private life, we all have also these times. We feel disconnected. We don't feel that we're getting the upper connection and the light that we need for our life, and we feel a bit lost. You know, you get up in the morning and you say, oh, that day I'm a bit afraid of it, you know, I have a bad feeling. I want to give you the trick in order to beat that feeling, first of all. And all your days should be great days, because if you know what to do, then everything will be fine. And if even in a time when things don't go well in the middle, you can change it. It's in your hand once you know it. Yosef HaTzadik is going through a very dark period of time. Very dark. He's being harassed by his master's wife. He's being thrown into the hole, into the boiler, into the pit. She comes every day and she tells him, if you come with me, I'll get you out of here. He refused, he constantly refused. She had to downgrade her demand. She said, just lie down with me. We don't have to do anything. Just lie down. What the heck? What's the big issue? What's the problem there? Yosef said no. Two people witnessed that. Sarah Mashkin and Sarah Oifim. The baker and the wine, whatever it's called, I forgot the name of the Sarah Mashkin. One believed that he was really godly and he was not falling for it, and he was unbelievable. And the Sarah Oifim thought that this guy is really, he's a player. Behind the scene, he's doing what he needs to do, but before us, he pretends to be superhuman. These two guys are going to have a total different fate. Not that any of them is a tzaddik, they're both Reshaim, but one is more Rasha than the other. The Sarah Oifim will get hanged, and the Sarah Mashkim will be saved. Not only he will be saved, he will regain his previous job. Now, so just to give you a little bit of perspective of what happened to Yosef, there was this Roman noble woman that stopped Rabbi Yosef, brought down in the Midrash, stopped Rabbi Yosef and told him it's impossible for a boy of 17 years old to contain his fire and not to have sin. So Rabbi Yosef took the Chumash Bereshis and he showed her that the Maaseh of Yehuda and Tamar, the Maaseh of Reuven and Bila, he said, you see, the Torah is not scared to account for our mistakes. If Yosef had made a mistake, the Torah would have written it down. Since it's not here, Yosef was a total tzaddik. So, Pharaoh, we all know the beginning of the Parasha. Pharaoh comes up with a dream. This dream, nobody can solve it. Then the Sarah Mashkim remembers, and this is how he's going to address Pharaoh. This is where I would like to talk tonight. And I'm going to show you the little dance. So the beginning is going to be a little tough, but I'm going to tell you the end is going to be really sweet. And we're only going to talk about Choshech. Otherwise, if I have to talk, I just want to give you also another perspective. Yisrael, we are Yisrael. Yaakov became Yisrael. Yisrael is equal to 541. Exactly Oir, light, Choshech, obscurity. Oir and Choshech together makes Yisrael. Why do we have the power of Choshech also, of darkness? We should be the enlightened people with the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why is Israel containing the power of obscurity? I'll give you a different angle. Yaakov needed the fight with the Satan and beat him in order to become Yisrael. Why? Because Yaakov and Satan,
Yitzi, is it easy to, should I call the dealer?
Yaakov and Satan equals 541, like Israel. So you see that we needed these dark forces. So we made out of light forces, the forces of the light, and we made forces of the darkness also. Why do we need them? What is the purpose? Don't we have enough darkness in our lives that we don't need any more darkness in our names? I'll address that question. I'm going to ask a few questions that I'm not going to address tonight, but if I can try to go briefly on it, I will. But I want to show you the harshness with which the Sarah Mashkim is going to address Pharaoh. This man has been feeling already the end of the stick. He's been in the hole for a little while. But when he's going to address Pharaoh, oh, he's going to brutalize him. Vaidaber sahamashkim. It doesn't say vayoimer, it says vaidaber. Daber is to scream harshly, to talk harshly to someone. You're talking to the king that reigns over the whole entire world, Pharaoh. How dare you? You may lose your head. How do you feel so brazen to talk like this to Pharaoh? It's your melech. Then he goes to Pharaoh and says, you know what? I'm going to remind you my sins. Not I remember my sins. You should remember what you did to me. What the heck? The guy came out, is suicidal or what? Are you insinuating something to Pharaoh that he mistaken? That he threw you into the hole for no reason? Seems that's what he says. Pharaoh kotzaf alav adav. Pharaoh got angry at his servants. Not the servant sinned or faulted. No, it's Pharaoh that got angry. Pharaoh is the problem. And he gave me into the mishmar, whatever, put us into the hole. Are we dealing with a crazy person here? Is he normal? Where does he find the brazenness in order to address Pharaoh? You know, Pharaoh is the ruthless king. He will cut his head. I mean, he will have his head in no time. Where is the Sarah Mashkim finding the koyach in order to address Pharaoh that way? Okay, again, we're going to address the side of the choshech. Yisrael equals 541, which is exactly Oir and choshech. I could give a share on Oir, I could give a share on choshech, I could give a share on Yisrael. But I think we're going to learn a lot more if we can understand where is the side of the choshech, catalyst it, and understand how to deal with it in order, so in our lives, we know exactly what to do when these moments happen. The Zohar HaKadosh says there are two ways before a person: the right, the light, the left, the choshech. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted this in order to have a world. The right is chesed, the left is gvura, it's din, and we need sometimes the din, and we need sometimes the chesed. And sometimes the din and the chesed together, it becomes rachamim. So Hashem wanted to create a world like this. However, on the right side, which is the light, there is memory. On the left side, there is forgetfulness. You don't remember nothing. Choshech are the letters. If you change choshech, you put the ches at the last letter, it's shochach, forget. You don't remember. So in the choshech, things are being done, but people don't remember. In the oyer, people do things and remember. As the Yaakov Shimoni says in Yeshaya, that's one of the reasons. Look what happened to Amalek, to Bilam, to, you name all these Reshaim, Sichon and Og. Do you think one learned from another? No one learned from another. They don't learn from another. Why? Because they cannot, they're missing. We, as people that have both sides, we can connect the neurons. They cannot connect it. They cannot make any connection. Okay? So we're facing here, when Yosef is in the hole, he is forgotten. No one cares about him. He has no family. And the truth is, the only hand that extended to him is the wife of Potiphar, Zulecha. She tells him, I'll get you out of the hole. He's 17 years old, 18 years old when he's in the hole. Nobody in the world cares for him. And he stands his ground, no. Where did Yosef take this power? Yosef, when he was 17 years old, prayed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and said, it's not fair. Avraham was tested with 10 nisyonos. Yitzchak was tested on the Mizbeach. Yaakov was tested with Esav and Lavan, and me nothing. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu swore and say, yours are going to be harsher than all the others together. And it withstood the test. When came the turn of David HaMelech, he said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why do we say Eloike Avraham, Eloike Yitzchak, Eloike Yaakov? We don't say Eloike David. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, because they were tested and you were not. So he said, please test me. He says, look, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to test you with a woman, and I'm warning you. Them, I didn't warn them about the test. They didn't know what was coming at them. But you, and you will see if you can withstand it. And he felt, it was Bathsheba. He felt. He understood the koyach of the Abbas. We understand the koyach of Yosef. But now, the big surprise is, Yosef is going to be punished. Why? For 2 words. The Midrash says, he said, Uzchartani to the Saramashkim, when you get out, please remember me. Vehiskartani, it means remember me to others. Remind others about me that I have done nothing and I should be freed from here. Each word is 1 year. We learned last week about Hishtadlus, that Yehuda went on the way. And we explained last week that Derech is a Yichud of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem Eloikim. Hashem Eloikim equals Derech. Once you connect yourself to Hashem Eloikim, you're on the path, you're moving forward, you're getting out of your hole, and you're moving forward for an Hishtadlus. And it was required for Yehuda to do it in order to have the Mashiach ben David and to reignite the light for Mashiach ben Yosef. Little did he know that his brother at the same time was doing the same thing. We will see. But we need to reignite it. Yosef HaTzadik, says the Zohar Kodesh, made a mistake. Why did he make a mistake? Because once the Sarah Mashkim told him his dream, he told him he saw a vine. A vine is one of the names of the Shekhinah. So he thought, because of a dream I came in the hole, my dream, his dreams. And because of the dream, he held a dream will take him out. And he was wrong. It was not that dream. I honestly, this Zohar is extremely, extremely hard. And I'll explain it at our level. I don't want to go too deep, but I'll explain it at our level. I supposed to bring Parnasa to my house. Are you telling me now that my shtadlus is worthless? My shtadlus is a lack of trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Then why did he put me in this world? Why did he create me out of flesh and bones? Why? Obviously, to do a test. Otherwise, why? He could have left me as a neshama. If I have nothing to do, what's the point staying home like this? Now, can someone someone learning this Zohar is going to say, you know what? Oh, it's a desecration of the name of Hashem to go out to work because I have to have bitachon. The money has to come to me into my house. Will he get the money? Will someone like this be justified, first of all, according to the Torah? And can someone like this really get his parnasa by saying there on his seat? We all know the answer. That at the expense of your, at the sweat of your forehead, you will get your parnasa. So why is Yosef doing an ishtadlus is being punished? Ishtadlus is not a lack of bitachon. Actually, the Zohar, the Midrash says, Baruch HaGever, praise the man who trusts Hashem. Ze Yosef, it's Yosef. 2 words later, the Midrash contradicts itself and says, and he was punished 2 years for having said that. So, 1 second. You can't have it both ways. Is he trusting Hashem or is he not trusting Hashem? Was it a lack of trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what he did, or was it not a lack of trust? Was he totally rightful? What happened to Yosef? I don't know. So someone's telling me he's trying. Okay, so we have to understand HaKadosh Baruch Hu here is playing behind the scene. We said choshech at the beginning with the first Zohar. The choshech is forgetfulness. Shchicha, shachach, it's the letters of choshech. Or we remember. And the Midrash says that the Sarah Mashkim was so not only jealous, I want to say it's more than just jealousy. He couldn't believe that this little kid here, the Mitzrayim never liked the Bnei Yisrael. They couldn't stand them. And he was making efforts to forget him. So it says in the Pasuk, Veloi Zohar Sarah Mashkim es Yosef, and the Sarah Mashkim did not remember Yosef. Did not remember, huh? He did him the favor of his life, the surprise. He should be shocked with what happened. Someone predicted him 3 days ahead what would happen in 3 days. And it happened in 3 days. Vaishkacheu, and he forgot him. 1 second. He didn't remember him, and he forgot him. Isn't it the same thing, this? He didn't remember him, and he forgot him. Not to remember someone is to forget him. The Zohar explains here that Choshech is the nest of the Satan. His whole attitude, his whole business is based on forgetfulness. In other words, a person, if he would remember his sin or be conscious about what he has just done, he would run away, he would make tshuva. So this bashert between choshech and forgetfulness is a bashert made in heaven. Otherwise, people would come back, all of them. So the Satan puts this forgetfulness, and how he tracks people, he shows you, listen, it's not a big one this time. Okay, I understood. Last time I made you make a big jump and everything. This time it's a very small one. Look at the light behind it. It's a lure. Whenever you feel, in order to get to the light, the path that you have to take, it's a path of Isur, you have to know it's a lure. On the other hand, once you have the light, you can see, all of a sudden you see depth, and you're remembering, and you have that feeling of good, you feel good, and once you're a little bit more in the cavern, again in the me'ara, you kind of, I don't like what surrounds me. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be using the Sarah Mashkim, the one that hates Yosef, in order to bring the Geula. Seems strange, right? The Sarah Mashkim is making every possible effort to denigrate Yosef before Pharaoh, to forget Yosef. And oh yeah, by the way, do you know why the Sarah Mashkim had pity on Pharaoh? He couldn't care less about Pharaoh, The Midrash says he got scared because he thought Pharaoh was about to die. He had so much agmas nefesh about not being able to find the solution, the meaning of his dream, that he was eating himself up and he was sick in bed. So the Sarah Mashkim went and said, maybe it's going to be another Pharaoh, and he's not going to take me as Sarah Mashkim. So I'm better off saving this one so I can keep my job. So he told Pharaoh, you know what? I have your solution. But you have to know it's a nasty boy, and and so forth. To the point that Rashi says, Aruri Marshaim, be cursed the Reshaim, that even when they do a favor, it's not a complete favor. So let's go into the pasuk now a little bit to try to learn and understand, as a person in a situation where I have no one to ask and I have to make a decision. Did I do enough ishtadlus? I didn't do enough ishtadlus. Who tells me where is the limit? It's very rare that we see that, but this is one of the parshas that the Zohar and the Midrash explain Vayhi Mikesh Enosaim Yamim with the same pasuk. In Eyav Kates, Sam Lachoshech. Hashem put an end to the obscurity, to the darkness. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows exactly where is the limit of Choshech, and at that point where the Oyer starts. For example, David HaMelech, when he asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu to reveal to him when he's going to die, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, the human cannot know. Whatever, long discussion, he asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu which day of the week. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him Shabbos. So he said, oh, it's not covered for Shabbos, maybe I could die the day after. So he says, no, because the Malchus of your son Shlomo has already started Motzei Shabbos. During Shabbos, actually. During Shabbos, he becomes Melech. So I cannot have this overlap. It's not your time, it's his time. So David HaMelech said, okay, in that case, let me die on Friday and be buried on Friday. I said, Chas v'shalom, that I should take away from you something that's allocated to you. I cannot do that. I'm the dying of Mishpat and Tzedek. It's impossible. So we see HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows exactly with Shmuel and Shaul, that the girls came out when Shaul was coming to Shmuel in order, because Hashem told him, tomorrow at this time, the king I chose for Bnei Israel will come to you. And indeed, Shaul came a little bit earlier. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it in thing that girls came out talking to Shaul, and he asked them, where is the house of Shmuel? And they start talking, like girl, pop, 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 until came the right moment, they shut up, and boom, he went to Shmuel, and he got anointed, and he became king. It has to be on the right time. If you see what Yosef said, Uskartani, the numbers don't lie. It's a mind-boggling number. 687. When we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, we make a yichud in Shemayim. When we say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Bo'ed, we make a yichud down below. And the two together, it's Eretz V'Shamayim. This is how we unify. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu created two separated worlds. Our job is to be able to take these two worlds, take the materialistic, and be able to bring it up to the level of Shamayim. In Shamayim, there's no material stuff. So it's very easy, right? If there was mitzvahs there, it's very easy to do them because there's no Yetzer Hara, there's no apple that you may forget to say a bracha because you're rushing and you're getting the phone call of hassling you and everything, and you just gonna faint and you want to eat an apple. That's the first fruit you see, boom. This doesn't happen in Shamayim. But the guy who says, one second. I want to eat an apple. I'm very hungry. I'm getting that phone call right here, right? And it's a hassle of a phone call. Hello, I'll call you back. I'll make a bracha. The only purpose of that phone call was to bother you for the bracha. Nothing really is going to happen bad out of this whole fluff coming out on the side. It's only to try to disturb you and to try to tempt you into soloing the bracha and the apple at the same time, or basically forgetting to do the bracha. So that's exactly what's happening in life. It's all a game. It's a game of mirror. You think I am here and I should be here next. That's the first mistake when you pull the Yetzer Hara to you. I should be here there. No. You don't know where you should be. You don't know where you will be. You know that you're here, you live the present. The future is up to Hashem. The past doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. It's gone. With the instant of tshuva, a feeling of tshuva, even if the person was the biggest rasha, he can erase his whole past. Past is dead. Future, we reach it through tefillah. Present, when I have to have my head. Now, the person has choshech in him, obscurity. What is my obscurity as a Yisrael? I have oyer, choshech. Eretz, shamayim. I'm like the world, the both worlds? Yeah, exactly. Yisrael is the only one that has the power to take what's down below and bringing it up all the way to Shamayim. I'm going to explain, I'm going to go a little bit into the pasuk. So this concept, you will understand it, but you will understand something. Whenever you're getting a bad news, pay attention to the present, what you're doing. And you will see that it's always, or most of the cases, take your mind off what you need to do at this moment. It bothers the Yetzer Hara, so he fluffed up something to you, and you're going to fall for it. But in truth, there is nothing here, and nothing will happen. Nothing bad will happen. You're going to realize later, oh, I feel better, it's gone. It never started. There was never nothing. Don't get that feeling and that, oh, I feel better. There was never anything. It was just to take your mind off what you were supposed to do, and he succeeded. When it says Vayoshev Sarah Mashkim, Vayoshev equals Vayachzev Sarah Mashkim. Vayoshev installed him, returned him? No. Vayoshev tells us HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in the picture. It's a pitch dark. The Zohar says there is darkness where even light cannot reach, meaning like these dark holes we have in the universe. Even when a star goes in, it cannot light up this thick choshev. So here, Vayoshev equals 318. Eliezer, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here helping. At the moment you feel that hope is lost, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is right here in the darkness with you. Right there. But now you're going to close your eyes and you have to let your heart work. I was saying, the words of Yosef HaTzadik, when he told him, Uschartani, he gave him all, are included in there, all the name of the Kehye, Yud Ke Vav Ke, all their extensions. These two names with all their extensions. And when he says Vehis Kartani, he was just testing the water. It's the Aleph Dalet Nun Yud with all the extensions, which is Eretz Veshamayim. And actually, if I recall well, it's in the pasuk also. Now I remember I run this. I'll find it before the end of this year. So now once you say you return the Sarah HaMashkim, I told you HaKadosh Baruch Hu used him as an intermediary in order to bring the Geula. What is Sarah Mashkim worth? Okay, now you see this thing in the Zohar and then the Midrash colliding and going along the same path. Interestingly, and they both taught this Sarah Mashkim, Rasha Merusha, but at the end of the day, he is the thread that you follow all the way up to the end, that Yosef HaTzadik will go from the depth of the pit all the way to become Mishneh LaMelech, and he could have become king of Mitzrayim, because he knew one more language that Pharaoh didn't know. So Sarah Mashkim equals 995. The first one I can tell you is Eresh Shel Melech HaMashiach. It's interesting, right? Eresh Shel Melech HaMashiach. What if I tell you it's equaling Mashiach ben Yosef, Mashiach ben David? That gets to you. Yehuda is at the same moment with the Ma'aseh of Tamar. Yosef HaTzadik, the 12th year, he was 12 years Shelah last week. Yosef HaTzadik is, so he's going to be 30. He's in 13th year in Mitzrayim, 12 years in the hole. So they're exactly at the same time. One is doing his part in terms of reigniting the Mashiach ben David. One is doing his part reigniting the Mashiach ben Yosef. And who? Through who? Through your enemy. So sometimes we see that we have someone harassing us and harassing us in life. If you change your state of mind and you believe HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent him here because he wants to bring you Yeshua, instead of being harassed and feeling affected by what this idiot and chimpanzee is doing, you're going to feel under the light and you're going to feel extremely good. The perspective of if I'm standing in the choshech or in the oyer depends on me. I'm the metronome in the middle. what do I have in my das? Do I have in my das the good? The Baal Shem says toiv, good. Why toiv? Because again, we're going to see this thing coming back again and again, the whole Parasha. Shamayim aretz, Shamayim aretz, Chayshech aretz, Shamayim aretz. Es hashamayim ve'es haaretz. First letters are Aleph, Hey, Vav, Hey. This is the name of Hashem with which we created Shamayim and Aretz. Aleph, Hey, Vav, Hey equals 17. Toiv. Das in the person is what brings you from obscurity to light. You can be in the light. Everything decided to be good. But you decided, you know what? I'm going to be in one of those moods. Okay, be in those moods. You're going to transfer yourself from the light to the obscurity. Look what HaKadosh Baruch Hu prepared him. He prepared him an idiot that's going to do all kinds of sordid things, but he is the one through which the ignition of the Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David together will come out. Why did he do that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because the Satan was mekatrik. If he sees that you bring the Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef, he's going to try to bring all kind of thing and get haywire. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says 3 things are coming beheseya chadas, when people won't realize. Nachash, not Akrab, and Mashiach ben David, and the Mashiach. All these were created when people, so the Satan shouldn't feel about it. Now, when you place back the Sarah Mashkim, Al Kano it is function. No. Al Mashkehu. Oh, you put him back on top of his drinks? Vayashev et Sarah Mashkim Al Mashkehu. Al Kanoi. What do you mean on the drinks? Sarah Mashkim is the one responsible to give Pharaoh the wine. He's a sommelier. It's another hint that the Torah is giving here to Yosef HaTzadik, telling him, why is the Torah writing specifically the words like this, even though you told him you will be returned to your function, al kanoi, and the Torah writes al mashkeu, because it's equal 551. And 551 is from the pasuk in Rus that Boaz told Rus, if the other one, the other Karev, doesn't want to do you the Yibum, I will do it myself. Uge'altich anoichi, I will deliver you myself. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Yosef HaTzadik. You are at a level. I will personally come and bring you out of this. Don't rely on nobody. There was a game of words. Oh, Vayiten esakois al kaf Pharaoh. What do you think his function is, this guy? Not to place the curse on the hand of Pharaoh, on the palm of Pharaoh. We've been repeated this sentence over and over and over since those guys came down to the pit with Yosef. We understand. We understand what these people have to do. We know exactly what they're doing. So why repeating it constantly? You ready for this one? When these words are coming, means the Geula is approaching. Vayiten esakois al kaf paroi. It doesn't repeat itself just to repeat words. When those words either don't make any sense, or when they have no place or no translation, it means jump to to calculate them. So Vayiten Esakasakaf Paroi equals 1,112. Tough one. And it comes exactly to this pasuk, Ulehavdil, that we said in Bereshis, Ulehavdil ben ha'oir uven ha'choshech. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ready now. Kates, it's the end. We're coming to the end of the choshech, where we're separating the choshech from the oir. That's what the Torah is. That's the time on Yosef HaTzadik. Not that Yosef HaTzadik didn't trust into Hashem. Yosef HaTzadik, when he said words, even to the Sarmashkim, it was Yehudim. So we can't say, so the Midrash is right. Oh, why do you take 2 years? Because, you know something? I told you here. I hinted you. The Geula was about to happen. And you had to add words to this goy. Hashem is taking care of it. I'm telling you, it's happening right now. Once you give them, you solve the dreams, you explain the dreams, it was supposed to happen. This is when those words were said. However, with a tzaddik like this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu understood that it didn't make it on purpose, or it never had a bad intention. So you can't blame him and even call it a chet. It's not possible. It was all for the right purpose. So now, okay. Veloi zachar sar hamashkim. So every time the sar hamashkim, I'm going to do a gematria. That's what I decided. I just want to understand the function of the sar hamashkim in every situation. Veloi zachar sar hamashkim es Yosef. He didn't remember the sar hamashkim Yosef. For me, vaishkacheu, it's enough. He forgot him. So why this? Veloi zachar sar hamashkim es Yosef. Just tell me veloi zachar sar hamashkim. He didn't remember. Because all we talked about before was remembering Yosef. So veloi zachar sar hamashkim es Yosef equals 1,816. That's a toughie. That was a toughie. 1,816. It took me hours to find that one. But once I found it, oh, how delightful it was. Vayemale oisoy. What it says about Betzalel when he built the Mishkan. Ruach Eloikim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu filled in with the spirit of Hashem. Bechochma, with chochma. Bisvuna, intelligent, understanding, uvedas. These are the words that Pharaoh himself is going to say later. Ish asher ruach Eloikim boy. And then Safnas Paneya is a translation of the rest. Oh, I didn't tell you what Safnas Paneya is. We get into it. And I'm going to end the share on this. I don't want to keep on. But we see that even for those years, really, he needed them. Because he became Yosef, and he reached a level because he didn't grumble. You know, he was supposed to be 12 years there. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him a test, 10 plus 2. It's your fault or 2. Oh, no, why? He didn't whine. Okay, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I understand. In reward, he got Ruach Eloikim. So maybe he was not supposed after 10 years to reach the level of Mishneh LaMelech. But then he got Mishneh LaMelech. How does he call him Pharaoh? Tzafnas Paneya. Interesting. Tzafnas Paneya. 828. 4 times 207. You know what 207 is? Oyer. Pharaoh doesn't realize HaKadosh Baruch Hu is using those Reshaim in order to reward Yosef. And who are the intermediaries? If they would know what they were doing, they would have never done it. Who would call Yosef Tzafnas Paneya? I'm ending on a question that bothered me for days until I was able to answer it. Really, really tough question. Someone is in the boyer, Evet, there's nothing lower than that. He goes out, and the king of all the other kings on earth, is Pharaoh. And the whole world heard that he was looking for someone to decipher his dream. Who does it? A young kid that came out of the hole. What's his name? Yosef. Yaakov didn't hear it? The Shvatim didn't hear it? How is it possible? Vaishkachehu. That's the answer. Hashem made it on purpose that they would not hear the name Yosef. When we say Vaishkachehu, it's not, that's what the Zohar meant. It's not that I forgot what I promised. No, the name of Yosef had to be erased first. Otherwise, it will be mayhem in Canaan, because they're going to hear, and then he's going to find out, Yaakov, that his children messed up with Yosef, and he's going to curse them. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to do it. And by the way, if you take Vaishkachehu equals 355, Shana, it's 355 is the gematria of Shana, a year. It's the gematria of Paroi. Paroi, Sar Mashkim is going to pass the baton to Paroi, and Pharaoh will become the next intermediary to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to bring the Geula to the Mitzrayim. It's a very interesting game. So we see ourselves sometime in the Choshech, but we are not. It's only HaKadosh Baruch Hu is using it as a mean in order to bring us to the light. Why? Because it is our job as Bnei Israel to bring down, to bring the material, the physical part all the way to the spiritual part. Have a great Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, Sadie.
Who's that?
Johnny.
You heard the shir.